There are a ton of products and services meant to support actors. There's classes, websites, even podcasts. Each one has its place. But because there are so many choices and each one costing you time, how do you decide what's best for you? It's enough to make you crazy. This episode sets out to save you not only time, but restore your sanity and keep you actor ready. It's an app. It's called MFA Meditations for Actors. And we're going to find out if it's right for you on this episode of Casting Actors Cast.
It's time for another episode of Casting Actors Cast. Here he is, your host, Jeffrey Dreisbach.
Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach. I'm a casting director with the McCorkle Group in New York. I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a really good day, and I'm really looking forward to chatting with you today about today's subject, which is an app. And I don't usually give app reviews. That's not usually what I do. But I came across this app, and I really got very excited, and I really wanted to share the value and the benefits this app will have for you if you choose to investigate. So we're going to kind of do a deep dive into this app called Meditations for Actors. But first, this is that moment of the podcast where I get to say thank you so much for tuning in to Casting Actors Cast. You know, it's just overwhelming that we're getting thousands and thousands of listeners every episode. It continues to grow, and I could not be more grateful. And you can continue to listen, which is like what I want. But also, if you haven't checked out the website, I encourage you to do so. CastingActorsCast.com. That's CastingActorsCast, all one word.com. You're going to find past episodes. You're going to find some videos. But listen, if you fill out that form that says dive into the talent pool, right on the landing page, right up front, it just gives me your name and your email address. By the way, I don't do anything with that. I might do an occasional promotion for a future podcast, something like that. But I promise you, I don't chew up your bandwidth. I don't spam you with anything. But if you do fill out that form, that's also a place where you can ask me a question. That's a place where you can provide a review. You can do whatever you like. A lot of actors like to ask questions in that space, and that's very, very cool. But when you fill that out and you click the submit button, that opens up a thank you window. And that thank you window is some freebies, absolutely free of charge, is a book that I wrote called Conversation Pieces Out of the Studio, the voiceover workshop for professional actors. It's a 100-page PDF, easily downloadable on doing voiceover work. What could be better? So if you have an interest in voiceover work, why not take a look and see if this is something that's right for you? It's a free book, so you can't go wrong. It's really like a workshop manual based on many, many workshops I've held over the years for doing voiceover work. The second thing is a 20-minute video. It's an exclusive private video called Casting Secrets, What They Don't Want You to Know. But I will tell you in this free 20-minute video, a lot of people have really enjoyed this video and found it very, very helpful. I'm sure you will too. So that's all you need to do. Just go to the website. Also, there's an email if you're interested in sending me a more detailed email, or if you want to submit your self-tapes. People are sending their self-tapes in, and I will evaluate it live on the air. That seems to be a really popular thing. So if you have some self-tapes that maybe you don't mind sharing with our Casting Actors Cast audience, then by all means, go to the email address, castingactorscast, all one word, @gmail.com. And I will be happy to take your questions, your submissions, whatever you want to do. That's a great way to get in touch with me. This is also that moment now I get to shout out to my dear friends at Actors Connection. Colleen and Tony are two unbelievably fantastic people who've been running Actors Connection here in New York. And if you don't know about Actors Connection, why not? Because it's just an amazing place where professionals in this industry are currently teaching various classes that I'm sure you're going to find really, really helpful. These are professional casting directors, agents, managers, engineers, people who are in the industry, directors, playwrights. And all you have to do is check out actorsconnection.com/New York. Everything is being done virtually now, so you can really get some hands-on, learn-by-doing training with professionals currently working in the industry. So I encourage you to go there. Oh, by the way, on occasion, I'm there as well. I teach a few classes at Actors Connection, and I love my time with AC. It's been really, really great. So that's my shout-out to those folks. All right, let's jump into the subject at hand. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. One more kind of house cleaning note that I would like to do. Several people have been sending me thank yous through the website and through the email. And I just want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to Elisa, Janice, Caden, Kevin, Christopher, and Joellen. This was so nice. Joellen wrote me this quick note. I wanted just to share this with you if I could. Thanks so much for a great workshop with the UWPATP last week. Looking forward to extending the learning through the podcast. Well, Janice, thank you so much. And you probably might not know the reference, right? The UWPATP, the University of Washington Performing Arts Training Program. And Pat and I have been so grateful and so blessed. For about 3 or 4 years now, we've been invited to the University of Washington to do some workshops. It's usually a 2-day workshop, and we cover everything that casting directors can cover with their actors training program. And the University of Washington is doing such excellent work. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up specifically is because I was teaching one of those students just a couple of years ago from the University of Washington. And guess what? She wrote me just recently and said that she and her partner are the co-founders of this new app called Meditations for Actors. Now, Meditations for Actors is a mobile app that ends up being a lifesaver for actors who need to warm up, to cool down, or just simply stay in the zone. Meditations for Actors is found in the Apple App Store and in Google Play. And so she was one of the writers of the app. She said, listen, I would love for you to take a look at it. Let me know what you think. And so that's what I'm doing today. Not only as a courtesy, but she's a very talented actor working out of Washington, the state of Washington, out of Seattle. And her partner have developed this amazing app. And I wanted to share my feelings about this because, you know what? I don't usually promote stuff this way, but because I was so taken with the app, because I just loved what their whole model is, that I wanted to share and do kind of a deep dive on that app. People who were beta testing this gave some feedback about the app. And so let me share a couple of these reviews with you. One person writes, the writing in this meditation made me feel incredibly confident. Isn't that cool? Another actor writes, I feel ready and inspired to keep thinking like a creative being. That's awesome. Another actor writes, it helped change my perspective. I could look at my project as no longer daunting and was reminded of the things that I most enjoyed about it. Very cool. And then finally, someone writes, I get very bad anxiety, specifically before auditions. And this felt like it directly and specifically addressed that type of nervous energy. So the person I'm talking about, one of the developers, very talented actress by the name of Alyssa Frank. She's an actor and a teaching artist, and she has over a decade of experience. She's a certified yoga, mindfulness, and integrative Alexander technique teacher. Alyssa's MFA in acting is from the University of Washington, where I met her, and her BFA is from Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts. Her teaching, by the way, is dedicated to nurturing the roots of joy, belonging, and compassion in the world. And you can find out more about Alyssa if you want to kind of do some more research on your own, alyssafranks.com. And you can learn more about her classes at www.movewhole.com. Now, she has a very excellent, neat partner as well, and in development with this app. Her name is Jen Hammond, and Jen is an award-winning Harvard University Moscow Art Theater MFA graduate. She's a certified associate teacher of Fitzmaurice voice work and a grant recipient of Allied Arts, the NEA, and others. She has been a dialect and vocal coach for 60-plus shows, as well as for films, and she's produced over 100 voiceover reels for actors. And she was the director and dialect coach for the video game Post-Human War. You can hear her on commercials, audiobooks, radio plays, and a variety of video games, including BattleTech, DOTA 2, State of Decay 1 and 2, among others. And so these two collaborated and put this app together, Meditations for Actors. So you might be asking, well, how much does this cost? Well, understand that MFA, Meditations for Actors, is free for 7 days. So all you need to do is check it out. So if you like it, then you just can get it after 7 days. It's absolutely risk-free. So that after the first week, you can choose whether or not you would like to become a member. Membership, by the way, is $4.99 a month or $30 for a year. I mean, that is not that expensive for everything you get in this app. $4.99 a month? That's crazy. So you might be asking yourself, well, why would I want to be a member? We're going to go into some details about what the app does for you in just a second. But as a member, you're going to get access to their library of meditations, and they have many, many meditations with updates coming every month. All of the features of the app, and there are some additional features I'm going to be talking about in just a few moments. And then you can cancel your subscription from your phone at any time. So it's not something that if you just don't think after a few months it's right for you, then you can move on. But I promise you it's worth the time to invest because you can really get a lot of very helpful information here, but it's more about the mindset. It's more about having the right attitude, having the right approach, and having the right perspective as an actor as you pursue your acting career. Now, as you know, if you've been a listener of Casting Actors Cast, I am all about the positive mental attitude. I am all about approaching the work in a way that is less painful and more confident, inspiring. And so that's why I wanted to promote this app today, because it really is exactly in my wheelhouse, based on the philosophy I've had in terms of doing this podcast. But I also think it's really great to have additional tools at your disposal that can help you. And anybody can use the app, by the way. The meditations are really perfect for any creative person. So that if you're somebody, for example, into public speaking, or if you're working on preparing or presenting an important meeting, and you get nervous standing in front of a group of people. These are really, really helpful tools for you. And they also have a daily category of meditation practices that are suitable for everyone. And it is appropriate for all ages. They have a category just for kids. Here's what I like about the app. So when you download the app, the first thing that you're going to see are categories. And what I love about the categories is that additionally, there are time markers for various durations. For example, there are 2-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, or 10+ minutes. There's also a category called daily. So there's a daily meditation. There's an area called pre-audition meditations, breath and movement. There's calm, coaching, connections. All of the categories have breath and movement, calm, coaching, connection. There's also a post-audition. There's also a performance-ready selection. There's also one for sleep, one for kids. My favorite, I think, is the area of special category. So that refers to illness and injury. Let's say you're an actor who's not booking. You know what? There's some help in understanding why that might be the case. There's an app about networking. Closing night goodbyes. Come on. You've had that experience, right? The closing night of a show? That can be just so heartbreaking. There's an app that can help you move in the right direction to process that experience. Plus, in addition to all of those categories and all of those times, so you can kind of choose what time you want. I'm going to do a 2-minute, I'm going to do a 5 or 10-minute. They're all available to you in these categories. But there's also something I really like, and it's a tool I've often talked about, but this is much more systematic and much more comprehensive. It's called the pre-audition checklist. Now, this is a feature where actors can create a custom template of everything that's on their personal pre-audition checklist. And that also, guys, that also includes all the tech to set up. And you simply tick off the items of the list, and then that can really help you feel confident and rest assured that you are as prepared as possible for any self-tape submission. It'll help you focus on doing the work. As I've said, all that tech stuff that sometimes can feel overwhelming, the whole point of the tech stuff is so that you can feel like you can spend the most time on your acting. It's all about the casting director able to see your work. And so that technical stuff, yes, it's important, but it's not as important as your good work. There's also a journal. They're calling it the post-audition journal. Now, this is a place for actors. They can record who they met at the audition, what they wore, what they want to remember, and, keep track of their audition expenses even on this part of the app. So that's very, very cool. It's very, very helpful. It brings a systematic approach to the audition process because it's everything that you'd want in your audition log. And now you've heard me talk about journaling and keeping a log, keeping a list. This is a way that you can do it in a really comprehensive way. It's now just simply on your phone, right? So you can always just keep that list in your back pocket. It's really helpful to keep that right in your tools, right as the best tool in your toolkit. Now on the app, there are also meditations that are specifically for pre-audition meditations that tackles about nervousness, about putting yourself in the right headspace. There's also post-audition meditations. For example, the pre-audition meditation I like a lot because it's a great way for actors to switch out of their tech mode and into their creative mode when they're doing a self-tape. And I know I mentioned that before, but in the podcast of a previous podcast ago, I talked about preparation and how perfectionistic we all get into a performance mindset. And that's a shift that has to take place for the actor to feel accomplished and successful. Also, guess what? If actors are commuting to auditions, they can really use that time to listen to the meditation. That way, it's going to help them get and stay in the zone. And then their post-audition meditations are really important for career longevity, really taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture about why do you want to be an actor? Taking the moment of care to down-regulate the nervous system after a high-energy event like an audition is really essential to your overall growth. So those are just some of the tools that I've been thrilled to see on this wonderful app. So listen, we've talked about all of the features that this app has. We've talked about how much it costs. I really think it's worth you looking into MFA Meditations for Actors. You can Google that and you can see the kind of work that they're doing. And so I wanted to take this time and just talk about how useful this might be for you. It's worth looking at. I hope that this was helpful for you today. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach, and this is Casting Actors Cast.
Thank you for joining Casting Actors Cast. Please don't forget to review, like, and share Casting Actors Cast wherever you get your podcast videos. Thanks! I'm Megan Grace Martinez.